What's good, everybody? My name is Austin Simmon, aka Ace. I'm a rapper slash teacher slash father slash husband slash geek. You already know what it is. You see JJK in the back. You see fucking me in anime form, Spider-Man, and the Rams, just to offset the nerdiness just a little bit. But yeah, now today we have me and ClarksAndRec, and you know, I know that usually my D&D content is on the Straw Hat Boys / Get Wrecked channel, but I'm actually going to be making some changes that we might get into a little bit later. But yeah, I'm excited to talk about the endeavors associated with this video.
Oh yeah, I can't wait to get into this. It's gonna be dope. Hi, I'm ClarksAndRec, and I'm definitely not Austin Simmons, but next best thing, right? Today, we're here to talk about what's coming next over here on this channel. And yes, you will be seeing a lot more of me as we talk about the next D&D campaign that you're going to see right after this interview. More after this.
Yeah. All right. So, well, as you heard, and at least not from my intro did not give enough away. That's now that I'm realizing it. But yeah, we are doing a new campaign, and the campaign will be on the Austin Simmon channel. So what I'm gonna start doing is having D&D, anime, fucking reactions, and my music all in one kind of spot. Kind of taking a inspiration from Russell's YouTube channel. He has everything in one place, and I just think that's just easier for me, and I can kind of cross promote audiences. So music people will see the D&D stuff, and the reaction people will see the D&D stuff. It'll be awesome. So with that being said, yes, we are starting a new campaign, and I'm really fucking excited about this because I've done quite a few one shots with you. And all of them have been lit. And so this one is going to be a long-term one, and so this should be good.
I'm super excited to start this campaign, especially because this is an idea that I came up with back in like 2023, and I kind of had to shelf it just because the group that I wanted to run it with, this was actually meant to be my wife's first campaign. And we did like half a session of it, and then the whole thing kind of just dissolved into like, oh, I'm not free now.
Yeah.
Like, and I'm not gonna lie. Like when I shelved this, it definitely hurt my heart because there was so many cool ideas and like so many cool concepts that I was super ready to explore, and I just never got the chance to. And as soon as Ace hit me up and he was like, hey, would you like to DM a long-term campaign for us? Immediately I was like, I have one ready. We can start this next month if you want to. I have this thing I've been sitting on forever. Let's just fucking do it. And yeah, now we're here.
And I mean, when we got on the call, when we talked about it on the call, you basically had said that we could start like whatever, low key, because it was already already. Because the thing is, I thought that we were going to be, I thought that I was going to be putting a lot on your plate like abruptly by being like, yo, I have this idea, but also can you DM, and it's going to be a homebrew campaign. Could you do all this? But it was already, and so I was like, oh, nice. Okay, so this worked out. This literally worked out perfectly.
It really did. It really did for two reasons. One of them you know about, the other one you don't. So I'll give you the inside baseball answer first.
Okay.
So at the end of last year, at the end of last year, we're going into this year, we wanted to make it a goal of ours, especially for me and Al, because we felt like we gave a lot of I don't knows, and we gave a lot of I don't think I'm availables to a lot of people that we wanted to work with, but like that imposter syndrome of like, I don't know if we're ready to do things like this. I don't know if we can like commit the time to it. And we both, me and Al, just kind of felt like, why don't we just say yes to more stuff? Like, we want to do the stuff anyway. Just we'll say yes, and then we'll figure it out. So that's the inside baseball of it, is like, we need to say yes to more shit. We need to like put ourselves out there more. And like the open answer of like why it came together so quickly was like, I genuinely love this story. I really do. And I like, I'm not gonna lie, like I have pages of notes of like, I have notes, I have crime family boards, like a fucking FBI investigation. I have names, races of key characters. I have locations, points of interest, and like I've made all of these things in like a week because I was in such like a flow state.
Yeah.
And like I legitimately felt like at one point I was seeing it. It's hard to explain, but like it was. As soon as you hit me up and you were like, we should do something, and I was like, I already know what we're doing. It's fine. We're doing this.
Well, with that being said, then, because I mean, I'm sure that the people want some context. I'm sure there's people watching that are on the edge of their seats. What can you give us some information about? I guess a kind of a small synopsis, if you don't want to give like too much away, of what the campaign entails.
So, the campaign, which as of right now is called the Great Expanse, is pretty much a kind of like what if alternate history story of Earth as the one that we live on. Normally, whenever we do D&D stories, we go to faraway realms, forgotten realms, astral space, everything like that. But I wanted to tell a more grounded story and pretty much bring D&D to us. So me being somebody that's from like the East Coast, especially like the DMV, the New York area, immediately I was like, what if, you know, everybody was talking about in 1999, as soon as 2000 hit, all the computers weren't going to restart, the apocalypse was going to happen, Y2K, everything was going to go crazy. And when the ball dropped, nothing happened. The computers pretty much went to 1201 and everybody went about their business. So what I wanted, the idea I had was like, what if something did happen? What if when the clock struck what if when the clock struck midnight, all of these series of natural disasters started to happen? Tsunamis, giant waves started crashing into coastlines, earthquakes that were ripping cities apart. What if the earth literally opened up and then these magical realms came to be? Mm-hmm. Almost like new continents that kind of expanded the earth that we live on. And what if magic was now introduced? And it really was a really cool thought experiment for me, because this isn't an unfamiliar story, because it's what I think we would do as real people if we were introduced to things that were way beyond our comprehension and we didn't understand. Mm-hmm. And how after, because our story takes place 30 years after this event, and how we would learn to integrate with magic, how it would affect our everyday lives, how it would affect the way the governments work, because essentially now you have 2 extra continents, 2 extra, like, pretty much countries, with these 2 magical islands that appeared, one on the East Coast and one on the West Coast. Yeah. So...
and I like the idea of, because it's just now hitting me that, like, people that are watching the campaign really will be able to relate more and like put themselves in the world, you know, kind of a what if sense, because it's a modern day, but it's like it's right now, but with magic. Like, what would you be doing in this moment? And I think that's cool.
It's literally 4 years in the future. It's 2030. Okay. It took us a couple of years to rebuild after all these natural disasters, and then we finally figured out that magic is pretty much in the world with these two continents that popped up. One one from the Feywild and one from like the traditional kind of like Faerun, kind of like high fantasy Exandria. So one is more like wild magic, one like with that Fey Realm setting, and then the other one you have kind of like your sort of like civilization. You're imagine almost like a Baldur's Gate-esque city, where like they have their own technologies, they have their own kind of like that. When everyone thinks high fantasy, they think like this kind of like steampunky aesthetic, a lot of gears, a lot of they have technology that is infused with that magic, that arcaneness. So with both of them showing up in like these different areas of the country, like the world has to figure out how to live with this now because they're here.
Yeah. And that's a sick concept. The moment that you had told me about it, I was like, oh my gosh, this is fucking sick. Because the thing is, I went in thinking, oh, we're gonna go back in the medieval times, like the standard shit, and it's gonna be cool. Cause it's like I was already thinking, it'll be cool because it's gonna be a bunch of niggas playing anyway, so it's already gonna be like it's already gonna be like different. But then you put this extra layer of differentness on top of it that I liked a lot. And I think that it'll also be easier for, and I told you this, that it'll be easier also for like the players to immerse themselves because they're familiar with the world. It's just it's kind of the world we're living in, but just kind of added things into it. So
it's one of those things where whenever we do like D&D and fantasy, we kind of have to put ourselves in a different mind state than we normally have. And like, what's it gonna be like when you're doing a heist type like encounter and you have to now worry about security cameras? You know what I mean? Like, what's it gonna be like when you want to contact somebody and you don't have to use a sending stone as long as you have phone service? You just pull out like a cell phone. Like, you know what I mean? And then it's also gonna be fantasy enough that like if you're rolling, like I wanted it to be like, I always had this vision. Anytime I think of New York, I think about like the subway system and like how in the subway you can have like a homeless guy taking a piss in the corner. You can have a businessman wearing like $10,000 shoes with a briefcase next to like a single mother breastfeeding, and then like pretty much it's such a diverse group of people that all kind of take this one means of getting around. So like I wanted it to be a thing where you could get on a train and then you're squeezed in between a businessman and like an ogre. Or like you could be squeezed in between like an Aasimar and a fucking orc, and it just kind of makes sense canonically. And the orc is in like a fucking a Nike tech suit, you know what I'm saying? Like he's cozy as shit.
Yeah. A dripped out ogre. Would be fucking sick. That's
you can already kind of see it. Like you step onto a train car and you just see it.
Yeah, just wild shit. So just add fantasy elements into it. Now it's even more wild. With that being said, I guess for the people, at least on my channel, can you tell us about yourself? And maybe this is, this again, I'm a new interviewer, so I probably should have asked this first before getting into the campaign.
You're doing excellent. You're doing excellent.
Can you tell the people about yourself, and kind of your experience, I guess, with D&D, right?
Oh man, you are going to be greatly disappointed because my experience does not stretch very far beyond the point that you know me. So, we started the podcast maybe 2 years ago and just spent maybe a year to 6 months just figuring out how everything worked. Honestly, a lot of really bad recordings that never got posted. But as far as that's the podcast side of it, but as far as D&D goes, I got into it. It was kind of a COVID hobby for me. I picked it up around then. It was one of those like after work, some of the guys that I hang out with, they were like, hey, we're gonna get pizza and we're gonna play. They were like, we're gonna get pizza, we're gonna grab some drinks, and we're gonna play D&D. And I was like, I like 2 of those things for sure.
Yeah.
And it kind of threw me off because like anytime like I don't know how to put this, so I'm just gonna say it bluntly. Like anytime I thought of D&D in my head, I envisioned a bunch of white kids in somebody's basement.
Yeah.
And
Well, that's the standard like stereotype.
and
right?
that's kind of the standard. That's like the Hollywood thing. But like
Yeah.
I was ignorant to it, honestly. So when they like a group of black dudes that I hung out with at work were just like, yeah, we're gonna go get pizza, we're gonna grab a couple drinks from the liquor store, and we're gonna play D&D, we're gonna go roll some fucking math dice. I was like, okay, well they're like, it has to be dope because like they're dope and they wouldn't be doing it if it wasn't.
Yeah.
So we ended up one session lasted like 5 hours, 2.5 of it was just fucking laughing. And I was hooked ever since. And thanks to Critical Role and Dimension 20 and Worlds Beyond Numbers, God, there's so many. Because anytime I find a hobby, I fully it becomes my whole personality. So I just fell in love with it, and I've always loved like the art of storytelling. And I just, after like my 3rd session being a player, I was like, how do you come up with stories? And whenever you ask that question, your DM's gonna fucking like, they're gonna go all twinkly eyed like in the cartoons, because now they get to make you a forever DM and you'll never be a player. Yeah. And then from there, that was about it. I got the rest of the podcast into it. We did a Dante's Inferno style campaign. That was their first campaign. I've talked about it ad nauseum on my channel, even though I hate talking about it.
Yeah, in the interview
because
when I was on your channel, the interview you were talking about it, and that's kind of honestly, that is kind of what cemented in my head that okay, at some point I need to do a long-term campaign with Chillin in the party at some point. Like I so real quick, just I know I kind of
it's fine. It's an ongoing joke that I don't like talking about it, but honestly, I put my foot in that shit, dude. It was really good. It was really good.
So when you had told me about it, I was like, in the interview, I was like, in my head, I'm like, at some point we got to do some kind of campaign. So I'm not going to sit here and lie. This was semi-orchestrated. This is long-term orchestrated up until I was just waiting for the perfect moment to ask you to make this happen. But I literally knew after that interview that this had to happen at some point.
Yeah, and I think because I had never finished a campaign other than the Dante's Inferno one. I had run a couple one-shots that that was the only campaign I ever finished. I thought one-shots would be less intimidating, so I kind of learned DMing backwards because I learned how to do one-shots first.
Yeah.
and then I learned how to DM a campaign.
Mm-hmm.
So like, if I had to give any advice to anybody that's learning to DM, don't do that. Do it the right way.
Don't do what he did. All right, yeah.
Don't do what I did, for the love of God.
You've been playing D&D then for longer than I have. We've probably been putting up D&D content longer than you guys, but you've definitely had more play experience. Because I started 2022, I think, is when we started playing.
Okay.
So like, I got about 4 years of experience.
Yeah, around the same time, honestly. Around the same time.
Yeah. So, basically. In the back of my head, I've always been kind of like, damn, this looks kind of cool, but I didn't have a whole lot of friends that played, and there was kind of that stereotype of black people don't play D&D, and am I going to be judged for this? There's always like that in the back. I don't know, culturally, and this is a problem with black people. I'm going to be honest. It's like sometimes you get that cultural like, is this like outside of too outside of my culture that I'll get made fun of? Like I don't know if
I think it's it's partly that, but there's also just this innate thing where like I feel like us as Black people are too fucking cool for our own good.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like we kind of have been held up on this pedestal, like, hey, Black people are culture pushers. Like, we know what the cool shit is. We know where the dope shit is. People come to us for the dope shit. We're the funny ones. We're the entertaining ones. We're the ones who are good at all the fucking sports. Like, and that's just fucking baseline. So like, that's like, everybody says that, like, being a Black dude that's not good at basketball is a fucking curse. Like, it just is. Everybody just expects it. You will not be last picked at the fucking fucking YMCA. It's not gonna happen. Like, they're still gonna pick you even if you're trash, just off of pressure alone. You know what I'm saying? So like, I feel like more recently with the internet, everyone's kind of like dropped the facade of like, we have to be super cool all of the fucking time, and I'm too cool to do like fun shit. I feel like, especially with the growth of like RDC and different like Black D&D channels, and pretty much the popularity of just like Critical Role and Dimension 20 selling out Madison Square Garden, like, the fucking secret's out, man. The shit's dope. Like, the secret's out.
Yeah. And I think, I mean, obviously there is like Black D&D creators out there, but there is still like in super mainstream, like I'm talking like at the pinnacle peak, there is that little gap, there's that little opening. And I'm gonna be honest, and I think that this is a gift and a curse. I am delusional when it comes to like my ambitions. And I have high like I have a high, I don't know, I have high ambitions. Like, and so to me, I'm like, well, if not, why can't it be me? Right? Why can't it be us?
Of course.
That's in that premise. And I think that from in telling the audience now, like, you have the synopsis, but like, I feel like this premise of the story is good enough. It's awesome enough to where I think it can do some things.
That's really the goal. Like, yes, this is something I came up with before, but like, I feel like I've gotten better as a DM of telling the story. And I feel like there's certain things that I've picked up from DMs that I really enjoy watching, especially like Abria Ironguard and Brennan Lee Mulligan, especially. They have this gift of creating these characters in these places that you want to visit, and these characters that you want to know. And they're also really good at not thinking that the audience isn't dumb enough to follow the story without telling them. And a lot of DMs have this thing where they have all of this beautiful exposition and all of these notes that they wrote, and they overexpose and they overshare and they overgive. And on the light side, you can kind of appreciate it because you're just like, oh, that's really cool. But like, believe that your audience is smart enough to follow you on the journey. And I feel like the payoff will be better.
Yeah.
And I've seen it time and time again where you pull back on that information and you give it in smaller hints and you let the players find it, and they feel better for it because they worked for it, and the audience feels better for it because they're already running the numbers in their head anyway. They're already trying to guess what's going to happen next. So like, let them go on the investigation with the players. And like, let them be in on that experience.
Yeah, I agree with all that. That's awesome. And that kind of leads to my next question, which was, what is your DM style, right? And I say this because, you know, and I know I've watched and played, you know, with you DMing, and you've watched some of my campaigns. I know that we are slightly different in the at least in the visual aspects of it, but then also
of course
but then also I do think, not that you guys don't do combat, but we are super combat oriented. And to the point where I've always thought that we probably should dial it back a little bit. And so can you kind of I guess explain your kind of talk about your DM style and how you are going to incorporate three of us? Yeah. Four combat junkies into this world.
I like to think I classify myself as more of a narrative first DM. You have your heavy combat DMs, you have your rules first DMs. I classify myself as a narrative first DM because I'm willing to bend a rule here and there for some cool shit. I'm willing to work with my players to kind of enhance the storytelling, even though it might not be rules as written. I also I'm willing to make sacrifices in order to get a really good narrative that some people are not willing to do. Like, I'm willing to have as much combat or as little combat that is necessary to get us where we should be narratively.
Yeah.
But on the other side of that, with my combat, it's also very theatric. Like, if you've seen any of my campaigns, I can't just say like, +1 revolver, I'm shooting character A. I'm like, all right, he leans back, reaches for the revolver on his hip, gives some fucking dope ass exposition. Midway through exposition, bam, I already rolled the shit, I already know it's gonna hit, but you just don't know that yet. So like, I want that cool combat, and I feel like if I do that, it imparts you to do that, and then that's where that line bending comes in a little bit, and that's why I'm not a map DM. So like,
I see, yeah.
Sometimes 45 feet could be 35 feet if the idea is really fucking cool.
That's fair. Yeah.
But that's kind of my style.
Yeah, and I like that it is narrative driven only, and I say this because at least for me, I like combat, but I like it when it means something, obviously.
Yeah.
And at least for me as a martial main, I literally can't play a full caster. I'm incapable of playing full caster. I just can't do it.
Oh man.
And so because of that though, playing a fighter, or I don't end up playing a paladin, it could easily just be, I roll and I hit, or I miss and that's it. But I don't know. I'm personally too creative for that, so I have to do exactly what you're saying, like describe what I did in the attack. One of my most crazy DM or D&D memories is when I killed the Fathomless, and just the way that it happened with the 2 action surges in a row, it was fucking awesome. And like that was like collaboratively, we were both kind of, it just felt like we were both like telling a story kind of collaboratively and going back and forth with it, and it was awesome. So yeah, I'm looking forward to how we bounce off each other when it comes to narrating. I like that it's almost an expectation that that it's not just rolling dice, hit or not miss. It's we are telling a story as a team, and I'm excited for it.
That's the goal. That's always been the goal when it came to how I run my games, just because the nature of combat itself, it can really be kind of boring if you let it be.
Yeah.
That was something that I feel like I had to learn how to do. Like I was watching I think it's Adventuring Party is the one that Brendan Lee Mulligan does, where he invites different DMs on and talks about stuff. And he did one with Matt Mercer, and he was pretty much saying, how do we make combat more interesting? And because I remember I just Googled, I was like ways to make D&D combat more interesting. Just because as a new DM, I felt like I was taking too long to find the rules. I was taking too long to decide, oh, well, it's 15 feet, but there's like a diagonal angle of 5 feet. And and pretty much like sometimes you just, especially when it's theater of the mind, man. Do some guesstimating. You always guesstimate on the side of your players, never on the side of the enemies. That's just blanket statement. Sometimes it doesn't feel like that for you guys because like I got a hot hand. I do. I'm very nice to my dice. My dice are very nice to me. So sometimes it doesn't feel like it, but like I always, if I'm gonna fudge it, I fudge it on the side of my players. I never fudge dice rolls. I fudge distances.
Okay.
But
okay, that's fair.
it's always to get to like really cool combat moments. Like in our last campaign, there was a moment where one of the werewolf characters kind of like went berserk and attacked like the bad guy. And that character, like just to like open the DM curtain, was a character that I made for a different one shot that I was supposed to be a player in. And it was I think it was, because I have it here, because it was a monk, but he was a, one second, because right here, he was a Leon monk, so like he was like the lion.
Yeah.
So pretty much I reflavored it as a werewolf, but it's pretty much a champion fighter monk. And I never got to use this character because the one shot never happened. Because every time I'm supposed to be a player, it's fucking cursed. But I always wanted to do this kind of like 5-hit combo where it turns into an action surge and then it just goes into like this long drawn out combo. And in my head, I wanted it to be kind of like that famous clip of Mighty Mouse from the UFC when like he fucking pops him in the ear, hits him with the 1-2, fucking fakes a takedown and knees him in the face, and then just goes straight into ground and pound. And just immediately I was like, all right, he goes in there, like, because you could do the thing, like you can just go, oh yeah, it's a monk, I'm gonna stunning strike and then I'm gonna start rolling hits. That's a hit, +5, +6, and like that's kind of boring. It's way better if you're just like, he goes up to him, fucking curled fist, bops him both sides of the temple, he's stunned, grabs him by the head, knee to the face, elbow across the face, cuts the eyebrow, he's still stunned, we're just gonna start working the body, then hook straight across the face. Like that's the stuff you want. That's the sauce.
And that's literally like the power fantasy that we're supposed to be going for anyway. So, and I think actually like monks are probably, in my last Finnish campaign, I did a monk fighter multi-class, and so I was able to do the action surge, flurry of blows. It's amazing.
It's so much fun.
But I loved describing the attacks because monks, that's like the most like cool ways of fighting is monks, obviously, because as anime fans, you already know what it is. And so I
or even just like a kung fu movie fan, like you get to live out fucking Ip Man, you get to live out fucking Bruce Lee movies.
Yeah.
Like the fucking, like when they're doing it with the like the little kung fu like wooden paddles, like like it's just dope.
Yeah. And it does lead, at least to me, like I'm excited to play a paladin simply because I like the idea of just a massive like super move. So like I'm picturing, because I found brass knuckles from the pugilist book that you have. So, and it's a light weapon, and so I'm using a light weapon and the pugilist. So I'm dual wielding, but not really. Like I have an unarmed attack, but it's with a brass knuckle, and then I have a sword. But like So I'm probably going to be smiting with a punch quite a bit because I like the idea of doing a Falco punch. Like I want to smite using Falco punch, and I cannot wait to do that.
And honestly,
especially considering that
that's sick. That's sick.
Yeah, exactly. I can't wait to fucking do this, and it has the push mastery too. So like I can punch somebody and they're gonna fly. Let's fucking go. I'm excited for this. Yeah. Like that's like my biggest thing. Like when that happens and it crits, I'm gonna lose my shit.
And like as the DM, I want you to have those moments. Like I'm rooting for you to have those fucking moments because it makes it good. It's a collaborative story. Like you guys are telling this story as much as I am. So like when I hit you super hard, even though you're getting hit super hard, there's still a part of you where it's like, damn, that was kind of cool.
Yeah.
Like that was, you might not say it in that moment, but like afterwards, you could be like, all right, that was kind of cool.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. And I mean, you don't want like, you know, it's cooler later on, like when you're rethinking about like encounters and episodes, like if the fight was hard or if it was a challenge other than just like when you dog walk the opponents. I mean, something like dog walking the opponents is cool, but the big epic ones are where like those are the memorable ones, obviously, right? So
yeah, of course. Like and like there's a difference between like a group bar fight and like a final encounter. Like
yeah.
Like the group bar fight is meant for you guys to like showcase some skills, like whoop some ass, and we all have like a good laugh afterwards. But like the final encounter, like this is the moment, like lock in, like somebody should be going down during this.
Yeah, and I like that you have that mindset too, because I mean there are some DMs that are, you know, it's like DM versus player, and I hate that. It's like, yeah, it's in the moments of the encounter, it's kind of DM versus player, like obviously, but like in the overall totality, like I know you as a storyteller have my back as the fellow storyteller in this moment, right? And I know that there's going to be moments where you let me feel like I'm powerful, but then there's also going to be times where I'm going to be challenged, and I like that because that's how it's supposed to be, right? Like Luffy, like
that's how it's supposed to be.
Yeah, like in just to give examples, like Luffy has his easy fights, then he has Kaido, right? Like so that's how it should be, I think, and just good storytelling, low key. So yeah,
and like another DM that I'm a very big fan of, B-Day Walters. He has a way of like framing his fights in a sense where he'll describe the bad guy, and the more detail you get, the more seriously you should take the fight. And he's very good at conveying before combat even happens, like, this may not be a motherfucker you want to fuck with right now. And then like sometimes you guys will like weigh that risk option yourself and decide it's worth it, but like he's still gonna hit the shit out of you. He's he might not kill you, but that's his choice at that point.
And I'm like still kind of going back and forth, at least on a couple things before we start, on how my like character is going to deal with situations like that, where I, as a person, as a player, know that he probably shouldn't do something, but knowing how I have him set up, he probably will do it anyways. So, for content.
Yeah. Of course. And
oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah. No, I was just gonna say, sometimes, so like D&D it's okay to touch the stove. It's okay to touch the stove because like sometimes it's meant for you to go into this encounter, lose and learn something, or like maybe halfway through the encounter, you were never meant to get the health bar to 0. Maybe you were only meant to get it a quarter of the way. Now this person understands that you're a threat for later and kind of makes a note of it. And then the combat just kind of ends. Not every combat encounter is meant to go to the death.
Yeah. So with my character, he is, because I forgot to kind of go to touch on, I guess, my part in this. I am a paladin.
Yeah.
From the shorts that I've put on this channel, I'm gonna be playing a Oath of Revelry. So we are also using third-party stuff,
So
which
dope.
I love because there's a lot of cool options on D&D Beyond that aren't like, it's like official but like not official. And so the Oath of Revelry is one of them. When I saw it, because I was like, I don't even remember why I was looking at this. I was just randomly like looking at a new book I bought, and I was like, wait, I don't want to do anything else but this. This is amazing. and so basically it's just a party paladin. You took an oath to party and drink, and it goes well with the like flamboyant influencer big personality that I'm trying to go with this character. And his whole thing is to not same as you, to not give like too much information, but basically he's looking for more followers or to regain followers is really what it is.
Yeah, of course. We could talk a little bit, like I said. Like we could talk a little bit about it, but like, you know, it's like the bullseye. Like we can talk outer ring stuff.
Oh, yeah. So basically, my guy is obsessed with being a social media influencer for reasons that he will convey in at some point when he gets his little backstory time. But I'm excited for this because he's also a UFC fighter. So you know, to hark back on you even mentioning that was sick. Which is why I'm using the unarmed strikes with the sword, because I'm excited for it.
Yeah, and that's one of those things that we talked about during character creation, where we talked about it in the beginning when we started recording about like you can still have things that are familiar, but they're just slightly different. So like with it, we can't really go into your character's backstory, but like, yes, things like the UFC do exist. They're just slightly different. And then like, how would we adjust to things like that whenever now we have orcs and Azamar and elves and tieflings? Like it's not a very fair system of fighting. They can't be a part of that. So now we have different leagues, and maybe this one's a little bit shady. Maybe it's more of like a Fight Club vibe. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
One of those like speakeasy things. You got to know a guy to know a guy, and maybe you'll get a dimension door into the club. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And my guy's all up in the mix and all that. And these are gonna be sick. I'm interested also in seeing, like, because I thought about this too. Like, okay, well, because we established that he's still in the league that he's in. If we're gonna be able to like do a fight, like that'd be fucking sick. If the only problem with that is thinking like metagamey. If like, what are the other players gonna do while I'm doing this one-on-one fight? You know what I mean? So I've been like that's the other thing that I've been struggling with. It's like trying to figure out how I would do that without boring the other teammates, you know.
So I've done in the past, I haven't done it for the one that we recorded, but I've tried to do the short prologue. And I'm willing to try it if you guys are, where it's kind of like a short prologue. There's no dice involved because everything's kind of already been decided. It's more of like a short role play. And it kind of gives a little bit more insight into your backstory. So like for you, it would be that moment that everything changed for you. We can't talk about how it changed, but we both know how it did.
Yeah.
But like it would be kind of describing that moment, and then we do like a little time skip of like how your character ended up where they are now.
Oh, I see.
And then it's almost like in like old, like in fucking Tarantino movies where they're all in the same bar somehow, but and then the whole movie is about how they got there. Except for it'd be shorter. It'd be a lot shorter.
Yeah. And I guess that makes sense too, because I mean, when you have their episode ones, they do have the long, like episode ones are always kind of, the intros are at least pretty long because you have to introduce the character in some way. So this could be the way that we do that. Kind of how did we get to exactly where we are right now?
I've thought about it a lot, just as people, especially because I'm taking a different approach with how I'm doing my session zeros. We're kind of doing individual character backstory session zeros. So like, as I'm getting more information about your characters, I'm changing things in the world or adjusting them so they better fit your character. So now it kind of, your characters may be tied to a location or a faction now, so they make more sense. So like, it all works. It's just how you guys want to run it.
Yeah, that's sick. There was something else I was going to say.
Oh,
what it was.
We could talk about factions. I can give that one away for free.
Oh, all right. Yeah. Let's talk about factions. Wait, real quick. I do remember what I was going to say. I do also, with the way that you're running the session zeros, this is an interesting change, and it actually is a little bit more realistic because I don't know anything other than the classes of my other teammates. Like, I don't know anything about like the barbarian that's in our group or the artificer. I know a little more about the artificer than anything else because our backstories are kind of connected, barely. But I don't know really anything about anybody else, and that's more realistic because my guy literally doesn't know these people. So that I like how this is going to play out when we actually all meet. Yeah. But anyways, factions.
Because like maybe you won't trust each other. Maybe you won't trust each other right away, or maybe it'll be a situation where you guys are banded together because of this event that happened. But like, you guys are strangers. Like, not every campaign or not every party is like, oh, we've been adventuring on the road for together. You remember the heist of 08 of the Baldur's Gate Bank, or like the yawning portal run. Like not everybody's an Ocean's 11 team.
And it kind of takes, that type of planning takes a long time because, okay, like if I mention something that somebody like either forgot or just off the fly, I have to know that in order to make it make sense. This just works better because I can just go in. I don't know this guy. I just know he's a barbarian. I don't know this guy. I just know that he's a fucking guy.
So in the first campaign I was a part of, we kind of did something like that where like, it was kind of like an Ocean's 11 type thing. And like the goal was like to rob this magical bank. And we kept like, it was an inside joke for us, but like it was only us. So like we would, during the session, we'd be like, oh, you remember the yawning portal of fucking 1766 or some shit? Or like fucking, oh, you remember that? You remember the dragon job? I remember the dragon job. We have no idea what the fuck we're talking about. Yeah. There was a whole lot of "you son of a bitch, I'm in," like the entire time.
Just the yes and right. That's the improv. Yeah. But yeah, going to the factions.
So one thing about me, I love a good old fashioned gangster story. I do. And this is partly a gangster story in a way because crime is gonna exist. It just is. So like, there's always gonna be, when it comes to like factions, there's always good ones, there's bad ones, and then you have your morally grays. So I'm not gonna get into which faction is which, but like, I did make a whole kind of mobster family tree. There's like an Italian style mobster family tree. They're called the Metelli family. There's kind of like a gang that's up on like the equivalency of like the Bronx in the city, called the West Side Guns. Yes, it is what you think it is.
Griselda, baby.
Where kind of it is. That's actually like the name of the apartments is like Griselda. So,
sick.
Yeah. And then like I did name like the top members of the gang after different rappers. So
Yeah.
it's
Sick
a
as
thing.
fuck.
But so when I was coming up with this world, I was like, I feel like the magical world would get involved with organized crime. It just makes sense.
Yeah.
So like, of course, like in it, like kind of like in my head, like the disenfranchised would normally find the disenfranchised. Like you're kind of lower on the social scale, different like creatures and like beings like orcs and kind of like dark elves and even some lower level like tieflings and demons and stuff like that, where maybe you were lower on the social circles would kind of align themselves with kind of like the disenfranchised, like the street level gangs. Then you have like your elves and your fae that are a little bit more trickstery may kind of align themselves with kind of like the mobster type families. And then there's like a whole Chinatown region, and this is the one that I'm like the most kind of not like proud of, but like instead of having one entity run Chinatown, it's actually separated into three. There's the Japanese Yakuza, there's like the Chinese mob family, and then the Korean Liamong, which is like the Korean equivalency of like the mafia. And this is like an area that's constantly at war, but like it's kind of like a Cold War. Everybody's talking about the peace and maintaining the peace, but they're all trying to like kind of backstab each other in a way. So that's kind of like its own ecosystem. And then I thought maybe it'd be really cool because it's Chinatown. So maybe you'd find like your Yanti there. You'd find your Dragonborn. Maybe some Hadozi. Maybe I forgot what they're called. The crow. The crow creatures. Yeah. So like maybe something like that are more like that kind of fit more into like that Asian mythology, kind of like Asian culture. But like it's kind of one of those things where since it's 30 years later, they have left their island, their continent, and they're integrating into society, even into like the upper rungs of society. So like of course there's like still the police, but then you can't call like the normal like NYPD for something magical related. So like probably the more civilized society from those islands probably integrated in with like the regular government too, to kind of form a task force, which I call the IRDF, the International Realm Defense Force. So they come in whenever anything is magic related.
Yeah.
That is out of like the purview of normal humans. And there's also another thing where when magic got introduced into this world, like that's when like 30% of mankind kind of just awoken to their magical innateness. Like people kind of woke up and started to figure out that they could use magic.
Yeah, and this is why when you were explaining that, I remember when I was explaining it to JJ, he was like, so it's kind of like Bright. And I was like, yeah, but it's also kind of like MHA, where like some people, like a bunch of people just like gained powers, which is MHA, but at its modern time, you know, it's like, and then that's kind of what got him kind of hooked, which,
but it also introduces like prejudice because not everybody got them.
Exactly.
So like the people that were already part of a society without powers that didn't get powers are probably like, well, fuck them. They got the cool shit. Like there's still kind of like a social structure to it where like maybe the old racist lady on the train is now like, oh, there's black people on the train and there's an orc here. Great. Like it's one of those.
Yeah. People, I can see definitely a situation where there's people that just hate magic in general, like some kind of prejudice term for magic users. I can see that being a thing as well.
Yeah, of course. Like, like we're still us. Like I can't ignore that part of us. Like, like I'm I'm telling you, like with AI, we're already calling them clankers. Like,
Yeah,
you
we're
think
already
we
calling them
can
clankers.
let
We already have a
magical
term
people
for it.
slide?
Which is
We
wild.
already can.
And what was funny about at least my character also was, at first I was going to go, because I always go fighter. Fighter's my go-to. I've been forced to get off to not do it. Thanks to Jonathan, he's like, you cannot do a fighter again. You are not allowed. And so, but what I was originally gonna try to do was do a fighter that I was going back and forth on him having magic, but I did kind of want to do like a cop. I thought that would be sick, especially with the concept that you had given, but it just made more sense with the other idea, and it just was too funny to not do with the paladin idea. But
yeah, of course.
And I've also kind of thought about in the future maybe there could be like an arc where, because I don't, again, and you don't have to tell me, don't tell me, actually, I don't know if there's any characters that in our party that are a part of the task force, but I could see a situation where I could make a situation where my character is like, why don't we team up with the task force, so let's for content.
Let's be cops.
Yeah, let's be cops for content.
I will say that, like, so the way I'm trying to structure this campaign is kind of like what I did with my last one, where like I'm giving you guys more control than you think you have. And there's no worries with me telling you that, because like you can't fully see the strings, but like you kind of do have agency when it comes to where you want to go and who you want to interact with and in what way. Because I've tried to, I now create my stories in more of a modular way instead of a linear storytelling way. So instead of having story beats that get us along the path, I have points of interest, and I have NPCs that I have tied to that point of interest.
I see.
So like, I'll give you the scenario and I'll start you at a place, but like while you're at that place, I'll tell you about two other ones, and then you can probably gain more information and then hear about a third one. But I'll give you two. But honestly, if you roll super hot, you could probably get a third or a fourth. And then it may feel like I'm pushing you towards one, but like you could just take a left and go, oh, I heard about this thing, I want to go here. And that's not normally, that would cause like a DM to have a mini panic attack, like, oh shit, they weren't supposed to go there yet.
Yeah.
But because of the nature of how this new, it's not a new idea to me, to anybody. It's more of a City of Mist approach to storytelling. They call it the Iceberg, where it's almost more of like an investigative type storytelling. And I think it's yielded definitely a lot better storytelling because you guys have more freedom than you think you do. And I have these really cool places, these points of interest with these NPCs, and I can plan everything in one go, and you guys just exist in it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And it does help. I will give the not maps some props here. It does help to not have maps, because if I go somewhere that you maybe didn't plan, well, I mean, you have a lot of this already planned, obviously, but maybe that you weren't expecting, it doesn't really matter because we don't have a map. Like, we don't need the map. You can just describe this new situation on the fly, which is fantastic, actually. And I've never played in a situation.
Perception checks.
And I've never played in a situation where it's like a sandbox. I was just saying, I've never played in a sandbox before. So like, I've always played in some kind of linear way to an extent. Even when I DM, like, it's like, yeah, you can do these things, but there is I'm telling you where you're gonna go, and you kind of have to go this certain, well, not have to, but yeah, you have to go the certain way. So this is gonna be interesting because there's just so many possibilities. Right?
We can talk more about it offline, but It's a story structure that I learned when I was learning how to be a GM for City of Mist games, because it's the one that they recommend that you use. And I think that every new GM should learn it, just because it is such a cool idea, because it really takes a lot of pressure off of you, and it makes it so that your story beats could be met in different orders. So like you still have all of the control, because you still are only giving them as many options as you want them to have, but you're just giving them more options to do the same thing that you already want to do.
Mm-hmm.
So like, say you came up with 3 really dope ideas and you tied those to 3 really dope places, and you put an NPC in there to help them get that information, or you left clues in there for them to get that information. In order for them to get to the next tier of the iceberg, they still have to go to all 3.
Yeah.
To get the big picture in order to unlock the next piece. It's the equivalency of them having to go get like keys in a Legend of Zelda game. Like the door has 3 different keys. One looks like a fucking triangle, one's a square, one's a circle.
Yeah.
Like you still have to go get the 3 keys, but like you can get them in whatever order you'd like, and it slightly changes the story depending.
Okay. Yeah.
Sick.
Let me see if actually that's literally every single question.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is every question. My questions were: describe the campaign. What is your DM style? Talk about yourself. What can people expect from this? And what's your your experience in D&D. Yeah. So we kind of touched on everything. I don't know if you had any questions for me or any statements.
I think I'm really excited for this. I think this is going to be really dope. I'm really looking forward to it. I think that this is going to be a very different campaign than what you're used to, and I think that this is going to be a good thing. I would ask for a little bit of grace from your audience, because I know that your audience is used to a very combat forward. Give me an episode or 2. Exposition is good. Exposition is important. I promise you will get combat. I promise. But like, you just might not get it at the clip that you're used to. But I'm excited. I'm excited. Thanks again for the opportunity to do this.
And thank you for accepting. This is I know it was semi last minute. Low key, we talked about this like a few weeks ago, and now it's kind of all coming together. So I think this is gonna be dope. And I also, another big thing with me is, yes, the content. I already know that you know what you're doing when it comes to the actual like DMing the actual campaign, but also the fact that you're a maniac just like me when it comes to like wanting to build a presence online, like actually wanted to be successful with this.
You gotta do the work, because like we're telling some really dope stories, and it's really cool and all that we're telling really dope stories, but like we record them for a reason. So like we want people to see them.
We want people to see them. I want somebody to see me smite with brass knuckles. I want someone to see this. So yes, I agree. And so you'll be seeing quite a few clips from this, just hyping it up weekly, and and I'm looking forward to kind of combining audiences for something great.
Yeah. Tell a friend to tell a friend. All right. I think the season premiere is a great chance for, like, anytime there's a new campaign, it's always a really good jumping in point, because like you haven't missed anything. You are fully caught up. You're even caught up with the players. They don't even know what's going on. So like,
I don't know what's going on. So
yeah, grab some snacks. Join the live chat. It's gonna be dope.
Oh, last big thing. We didn't even I alluded to it kind of, but not really. Yes, the party is is mostly black. we got one token, but it's mostly black. And I think that because there's I'm just saying, whatever. There's like, I'm not going to be code switching, right, while I'm playing. And so it's just that, like, natural black people being black, play D&D, and I think it'll be different for people who are regular D&D watchers, and I think it'll be a pleasant difference, a pleasant, nice little deviation from what is the norm.
Yeah. Plus, Chance is my guy. Me and Chance go way back. Chance is just dope people. He's also from Louisiana, which is like one of the blackest places on earth. So like, he's with the shits. He's also one of the best role players that I've ever had at a table. He is good. Once he's in character, he stays in that motherfucker. His characters are fucking excellent.
Yeah.
Like, sometimes I feel like I'm trying to keep up with him. Like, it's nuts.
I will say, because I saw the episode where I actually watched the episode where his character got introduced in your last campaign. And I thought he was like a guest, but like he ended up staying. Is that basically what happened?
So he
wasn't there for the entire campaign, right?
No. So he was supposed to be a guest character because, like I said, me and him go way back. Like we were both serving together in Japan back in like 2015, 2016. Like we go way back.
Yeah.
So he had, when we first started the podcast, I had asked him if he was interested. He's like, I just don't know if I'm available. Like, because I was like, if I'm building a table, I need him at my table. Like we'd played home games together. So I was like, if I'm building a table, I need him at my table. But I couldn't get him in the beginning. He was like, I can guest character. I'll find the time. I can give you 1 or 2 episodes every now and then. I was like, you know what? Just join. We'll figure it out. He did that 1 episode. That 1 episode turned into 2 episodes. That 2 episode turned into 3 episodes. And then he was like, you know what? We'll find the fucking time. We'll make it work.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. Yeah. Well, that's awesome. Yeah, because he's good. From the couple episodes that I saw of him. Yeah, he is awesome.
Oh, he's dope. He's dope.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. Well, that's all I got. I guess I'll give some. Well, you give your closing plugs if you please.
Yeah. So, if you're watching the full version of this and not the clips, like right after this, we'll be rolling right into the campaign. So, like, you'll probably have a break to pee and grab snacks and shit. Do that because, like, this is gonna be super dope. I'm really excited. I feel like everybody is bringing a level of like storytelling and role play and enthusiasm that like I haven't even seen at my own table. So like even like we talked about his backstory and we were both just like, what if we do this? This would be so dope. This would be so dope. And like I'm telling you, if we can get all these things to translate the way I want them to, this is going to be something special.
Yeah. Hey, real quick, have you talked to everybody already? Or are there still some people that you haven't conversed with backstory-wise?
Al and Fist of Wakanda and Grind Time. Those are the 3 I haven't heard from. I've heard from so half.
Yeah, have to go.
But me and Al talked a little bit already. We have an idea of what he wants to do. But so it's mostly just Grind Time, and it's by the time this comes out, it's already figured out.
Yeah. Sorry. I will say I randomly contacted Al today because I saw that he has 2 of the same cantrips, and I'm the type of nigga that tries to help out his teammates. I mean, like, I don't know again his backstory, but I do know what he's playing, and so I was like, yo, you should probably fix this. And he was like, no, don't worry. I am min. He's like, I'm fully optimizing my character. I'm just going in steps. And I'm like, oh, okay.
The last time Al played a cleric, it was the bane of my fucking existence. It was very beneficial for the players, but as a DM, he is really fucking. He doesn't like to play him too often because he always gets pigeonholed into it. But when he does, he's fucking good at him.
Yeah, when he told me he's optimizing mid max, and I'm like, oh my god, okay, we're the same nigga. All right, let me fall back.
Al's good. Al's good.
Yeah, and he's fun to play with too.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'll give my quick plug. So yeah, I'm looking forward to this first episode right after this. So live will be on my channel, and then the VOD with all of the cool effects and stuff. And he does do nice effects. Are going to be on Chillin with the Party. So it's a true collaboration.
They take a long time. Though. So like by the time the campaign's like halfway through, they'll probably get like episode 1 and 2.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah, fair. But it's fine. It's fine. It's one of those things where they'll be done as they get done. So like it's the equivalency of all my anime fans out there. If you want the sub version,
I see. Yeah.
If you're willing to wait 3 weeks for a dubbed.
That's fair. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then and it's gonna be on the Chillin' on the Party channel, because I've been on the channel before, but it was I was promoting Get Wrecked. It's now going to be on the Awesome Simmon channel. So yeah, just keep that and but you'll get the raw VODs. Those are also for your channel too. Oh, sick. Okay.
Yeah, I only want the edited ones.
Yeah. Okay.
so it's all good.
All right.